What is real? What's up, Johnny? What's up, Alden and Ken? Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna ignore that comment. Anyway, I got the flat light.
All right, who did this?
Hey, Ken.
I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
Craiga 15 pizza spin, Craiga 15 raining pizzas, Craiga 15 pizza spin, Craiga 15 raining pizzas, Craiga 15 pizza spin, Craiga 15 raining pizzas, Craiga 15 pizza spin, Craiga 15 raining pizzas.
Thanks for subscribing, Ken. Yeah, I just figured. Flat light. Yeah. It's the flangy boy. I figured I might try to stay up until Old Blood actually announces their new pedal. It's very sick. Yeah. Pretty much Left Heavy, aka Harley, did a stream after he got his Oblivion, and that I had been on the fence because I have not on the board, but I have a Procession that has a flange setting, but it's I wanted to get chat somewhere on here. Let's put that over here. Alright. Yeah, it's tonight. All those like resonant things coming in. That's flatlit. But yeah, Harley got a quad flanger, the Oblivion, and did a stream, and that just pushed me right over the edge for getting a flanger. So then I had been on the fence and was watching a couple, and one came up at a really good price, and then like immediately after that, somebody put a BL44 up for like crazy cheap, and I grabbed that as well. So here we are. Yeah, waiting for they said midnight like their time, but I feel like usually, if I remember correctly, they drop stuff a little bit earlier, like, oh yeah, we know what it is, dude. I probably shouldn't talk too much about it, but in some other Discords, people figured it out, and then it got shared. It is a utility pedal for Expression. But yeah, basically it converts. I mean, I'll talk about it. I just didn't want to show a picture or anything, but it is it's gonna convert MIDI into Expression for the expression inputs. Alden ruins it all. But yeah, they kind of let the cat out of the bag. Well, Andy did in a Discord, so not his, but in a different one, because people pretty much guessed it. So that kind of spoiled the surprise. But then I figured I was already gonna try to do this, so why not? It's a good way to get back into oh yeah, that's the other thing, is they released a video on Instagram that kind of gives away that much information, so I'm not really spoiling anything. It just doesn't show it complete. I mean, it does show it, just not the front, but it basically explains. So yeah, if you go to Old Blood's Instagram, I forgot about that already. Let's see. Where is this guy? Let's watch it. Oh wait, I can do... I'm forgetting how to stream is fun. Yeah. I miss your streams, Johnny. So he's just like holding a MIDI cable, 5-pin MIDI cable, and realizing that they don't plug into any of the Expression 1/4-inch outputs on any of their pedals. Is there audio for this? Yeah. I'm not routing it though. Oh well, too bad. It's just like a weird song in the background anyway. So then there's the box. I can't rewind it. So yeah, you have 4 1/4-inch inputs for Expression. That's it. Oh. I don't know, what do you think of this? No, they're not screaming F-bombs, unfortunately. It's an old-timey song, I forget. I watched it earlier. What's the actual box? Yeah. It's like Oodalali or whatever. Hey, Flamingo. Here is a link to the post. Go nuts. Oodalali, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. They haven't announced the price. I'm hoping it's like around $100, not too much more. It's probably like either like $129 or $150. That would be my guess. That right there, that was Flatlight. It's freaking awesome. Just brings a lot of movement into you know, into whatever is happening. But yeah, it's been a while since I'm trying to... When did I stream last? March 10th is the last time I did a stream. Before that, February, a couple times. So. Just trying to see if this time of night is not too late for me also. saw the other thing Andy mentioned was he is working on Max for Live plugins for all the Chase Bliss pedals, but especially the new Mood. And I think he said when the new Mood, when the plugin for the new Mood comes out, then he'll release the one for the old Mood as well, which will be awesome, because I don't have the new one. There it is again. There's the flanger. So basically, my plan is just to listen to this for like an hour and a half, maybe, while I'm recording it, and get a nice chunk of it, and then I'll go back and turn this into a song. I cut out the parts I like and mix it all together and release a shorter version. But then, I don't know, just hang out. Maybe let's I could put this track up on Discord and let people play over it. It's in D. It's just D, a D like drum thing, whatever. Yeah, I guess I could post a link to like post it in like Dropbox or something. But yeah, this is I went back and watched Andy's Flat Lake video, and so his settings, he has the speed way down. The depth is like a little bit over 12. No, I just am usually not this big on the camera. But it's not new. And then the shift knob is the resonance kind of filter control thingy. And you have to kind of just get that just right, otherwise it can get out of control really quickly. And that's what the hold knob does, is it like maxes out the shift knob. Or the shift knob. And mix is like at like 11 o'clock. And then I've been messing around with the reverse. Right now it's on like an octave down speed. You can kind of see it better there. Octave down on the speed. And then the slider is to the right a little bit. Yeah, also it stuff probably looks different also because I moved my lights around and have rotated my studio. So now I'm like long ways or short ways instead of long ways. And I moved my lights to different places, so, which is why the pedal board is all washed out, because I gotta fix that, but who cares, honestly. So yeah, it's probably more lighting than anything. But yeah, I finally got my old drum set out, and so my electric is set up over here, and then, you know, pedal board over here, instruments over there. I finally feel like I have enough room down here to, like, I don't know, do stuff. So it's nice. I don't know. I I feel pretty weird about playing drums live. Yeah, that's most likely a hard no. But I have been playing more, which is cool. It's fun, so I don't know. Never say never, I guess, but I don't plan to play drums on stream. It's so much different, like, you know, you've gotta, I feel like the people that do drums, they have a lot more remotely accessible stuff because you don't have your hands free, obviously, when you're playing. I'm definitely not set up for that at all. But also, yeah, I'm way out of practice. I'm really rusty, so. I need to play for a while. But I've been playing along to some heavier stuff and just getting back into it, so. Yeah, it's a good it's good physical exercise as well as I feel like it's good for my mental health. So this is the thing Andy was talking about on the other Discord, the MIDI Fighter Twister, and it's just like 16 knobs, 4x4, but there's these buttons on the side that let you like pan to different settings, and then each button is 3, you can't really see, the light's not great, but each button is also 3 controls in one, so it's just a regular knob, and then it's a push button click thing, and then you can push down and hold it down and turn it. That's the third function. So there's really 16 times 3 functions at once, immediately. And then also, depending on like what you have it assigned to, you know, if it's a volume knob, then it just goes 0 to 100. You can also assign it as like a panning knob, so it'll light up differently depending on, like, if it's 0 to 100 type volume type knob, then the lights light up progressively as you turn it, so you can see where it's at. If it's on a panning setting, then it'll just follow right or left, like a light. So it's like really smart in that way. And then you can also have them be different. Each one can be a different color. So yeah, and then I think there's like 4 banks. So then it's like 16 times 3 times 4 is how many controls that has, which is crazy. Yeah, it's a lot. It's really, really, like, I wanted a physical thing to control turning knobs for mixing, or, you know, doing plugins like the compressor or EQ plugin, and not just have to use the mouse all the time. Having like actual knobs to turn, and all the like control surfaces are just so stinking expensive that I didn't really want to invest in one of those yet. Like this thing's only, I think, $250 new, and I got it for around $200. So price of a pedal, basically, you know. But what I was trying to do originally was do MIDI mapping in Logic, and Logic just really sucks, in my opinion. It's not intuitive, and it's also a lot of buttons to map stuff, a lot of steps. Whereas in Ableton, there's a button that turns on like a MIDI learning tool, and everything then becomes mappable on the screen. So all your inputs, so even though it's a knob, it can still control like a volume slider that just goes up and down. It can control the pan knob, so anything on the actual channel strip of a MIDI channel or audio channel. And then when you have plugins, it can be mapped to any, like whatever active plugin, it'll automatically just assign like the bottom row of knobs to the controls. And so anyway, the point being, it just makes the workflow for mixing in Ableton like a lot faster. And yeah, it's for it being like a device with no like labels on it, you can really make it whatever you want it to be. And then I think it's not a lot of work to remember. Like it's from there, it's pretty intuitive, like what it assigns to. So even only having used it a couple times, it's pretty nice. So if I ever did a stream or any kind of live situation with Ableton too, like it would be something that I could integrate into a performance. And so what I'm really interested is when this expression thing comes out, I'll have like MIDI control of the Chase Bliss pedals, and if I were to get this thing from Old Blood to control like the Dark Star, Flat Light, and maybe like the El Capistan or something. Or I could throw Procession back on. I'll allow that. Yeah, then what I'm thinking might be cool is to then like map this thing. Oh, that's better. Now you can see it better. That's all it is. Just got a USB connector. Then to have something like if I'm sitting here playing something with the DAW, I won't even have to turn to the pedals. I can kind of get a basic sound that I like and then map the Max for Live plugins that are controlling the expression and the MIDI to these knobs. That's the ultimate goal. Because otherwise I was kind of starting to, well, I've already been kind of starting to recreate some ambient like effects chains, I guess, in Ableton with just a combination of stock plugins. I'm probably gonna do a stream, a pedalless ambient stream soon too. I just wanted to do this one with the new stuff that I got, but there's some really cool delay effects that are just stock plugins in Ableton, and loopers. There's like kind of one-shot loopers, like that you can choose how many measures you want. I know. Gonna get banned from all the pedal discords. I'm always just, looking for more efficient ways to do things. But wait till you hear, like, with just a couple plugins, I found like a granular delay kind of stretchy plugin, similar to what like a Microcosm would do. That by itself is like really, it takes what you play and just adds notes and octaves and bounces that around like randomly. So like granular synthesis, I guess. And then you mix that with, a reverb and something else, and you can you can get some really cool textures just from stock plugins. And then still trying to figure out how to run VCV Rack through the board, but if that doesn't end up working out as well as I want, then I'll have potentially an all software. Yeah, I was using Scatter a little bit. Scatter, it's kind of... Scatter is cool, but it's... Yeah, it's similar to that, I guess, in some ways. I found Scatter to be kind of not... Maybe I just haven't spent enough time with it, but not... yeah. I don't know what... I don't know, not inspiring, I guess? Like, it does a cool thing, but it's kind of like... I don't know. Yeah, go to bed, Johnny. All you guys. Yeah, definitely don't stay up just for me. But I'm gonna see if I can make it to 12, and then we'll see after that. But whoever's still here, yeah. So Ken, we were talking about Scatter, the plugin. Yeah, at least I was. It is. Can I load a plugin? Probably shouldn't. Try this while I'm recording. You know what, Ken? I do need to. I did. I don't know if you. Oh, you can't see my screen. I'm gonna show you. I did download all of those Kilohearts plugins that you have recommended on your stream. It looks like there's a couple really cool things. The reverser looks really cool. Yeah, there's some really interesting stuff in here. So I'll probably try do a stream where I just try those all out. Yeah, I just got them all. Because you can download like the whole pack. I mean, these are all the free ones. So I just downloaded all of them, yeah. Who makes Scatter also? I'm trying to remember. It's not Aberrant. Sound Ghost, there it is. Alright, who cares? Let's see what happens here. Is it gonna let me? Yeah, I don't think I can load a plugin while I'm recording. Oh well. That's fine. Yeah, I actually, like, the only time I tried it was while I was playing live, so maybe I'm just thinking it might be better to try it a little bit more when on stuff that's recorded, so I can just kind of get more of a handle on like what it can do. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably not really using it like to its full capacity either, but I don't know. My initial impression was just kind of like, okay, I get it. I get what it does. But I wasn't like blown away immediately. I mean, for how much it costs, it's definitely a good deal. So. Got some modulators. Oh, yeah, I'll have to look at a stream when you're doing that, because I don't really know how to add. Are you talking about adding modulation from something else? I don't know. I'm. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so you're creating movement. Yeah, I can see that. That's something I probably need to look into more with Ableton too, is like for streaming, setting up some templates that have like yeah, some of that stuff like set up and ready to go, so that it can just kind of do the thing. Whoa.
All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
Hey, thank you and welcome. Yeah, otherwise it's pretty still. Yeah, okay. So I guess I was understanding it correctly. That's a good tip, though. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember. I saw that you followed me a while ago, but I have not streamed since then. I think you followed me when Ken shouted me out in the stream. Yes. Thank you for subbing. That's very kind of you. Just making some ambient music. It's going. Yeah, now you get the pizza emotes. Yeah, it's going okay. I've actually been like meaning to try to do a stream for the last couple weeks, and it just hasn't worked for a variety of reasons. So yeah. Life the last like 2 months has been pretty nuts, but things are calming down a little bit, so I'm gonna try to do this a little bit more often, consistently anyway. I've honestly, like, it's a good way to kickstart me back into getting me to record ideas and being more like spontaneous about it, instead of I don't know, having to feel like you're just very isolated in your creativity. So I feel like it is a double-edged sword in a way, because there is also that added like sense of pressure from people potentially watching. So that I tend to feel a lot of anxiety about that when I'm like thinking about doing it, but then when I'm actually doing it, it's, I don't know, it's, yeah, I'm getting back to the point where I can do YouTube again as well. That's still gonna be honestly my main focus for output, and streaming will mostly probably just be this kind of thing, you know, where I'm recording what I'm doing, and then also like the mixing and adding or even other creative writing part of this, instead of just letting a loop kind of do its thing for a while, like being more intentional. So I want to do more of like music production, so that's not just this every time. But yeah, it's fun to hang out and just talk to people for a while. Yeah, as much as I think I started to get in my head a little bit about just the streaming part of, instead of making it more of a, like I said, spontaneous creative output, I started to feel like it was more the pressure of, you know, just having to be on camera and entertaining or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just going back to like what I did when I first started streaming almost 2 years ago, which was just kind of jumping on and hanging out, having to be very relaxed and not put any pressure on myself to, you know, be anything more than what I can do. So and I had been doing a lot of morning, like first thing in the morning, waking up and trying to stream. And I think when I first started streaming, originally I was doing it this time. I just feel I think I'm in a better creative mindset at night compared to early. You know, I'm not a morning person, so it's just when I feel like I have the you know, energy to do this, then
my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down! No!
whoa, what the heck? Liquado, what's up? Oh wow. Well, okay, hold on. Oh my God. This is too many people. Wow. Okay, Aza, Toto Robin, who else? Ken, Fee, Ken, time to play some strings. What's up, everybody?
Thank you!
Wow. I was not expecting this tonight, for sure. Liquado, how was your stream? I've been lurking in your streams a little bit recently. And yeah, I love what you're doing. Cool. Nice. Yeah. Wow. DJ B North, what's up? Sorry if I missed anybody. I'm just now trying to check the chat. Yeah, we're just hanging out. So welcome in, everybody. Totally not expecting this today. Yeah, Liquado is awesome. Oh yeah. All right, I can't keep up. Were you doing ambient stuff today, or what was the theme of the stream? See ya, Flamingo. Thanks for hanging out. Looks okay. I guess.
Thank you!
Oh, thank you for the follow. Sorry if I missed anybody else. Matt or Mathtronic, what's up? Holy crap, 38, I just saw it's 38 people you sent over here. Wow. How was I not following? Oh, yeah, because I have not streamed in like 2.5 months, probably. I just checked earlier, and I have not streamed since March 10th. So it's been a little while. Oh wait, you answered me. I missed it. So went some interesting places. Oh, cool. Well, yeah, welcome in. My plan for tonight is just working on this loop. I have 2 new pedals that I'm kind of trying out today. The Flat Light from Old Blood, as well as the BL44 Reverse. Oh, Ken. Thank you for that gift to Laquata. Ken, you're too kind. And Phoenix, thank you for the bits. Are you guys getting the are you getting the sounds from those videos? I don't know if I have. All my stuff is like I don't know. Oh, you are. Okay, cool. I'm not seeing it for some reason, but oh yeah. Well, I have 4 different DAWs. But Logic is my kind of go-to, like, Logic is my go-to for this at least. But yeah, also I've been getting into Ableton Live, and I'm trying to learn Luna currently for the UA Apollo stuff. And then I have Studio One. Like you know, you buy something and then you get like a free or a light version of it. And so I'm trying to just learn a bunch of different things. I have a hardware DAW. What? Wait. Hardware DAW? Interesting. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, you can, yeah, I just have this, you know, I have the streaming template in Logic, so it's really easy to just quickly open it. And yeah, Studio One is the one I don't use the most. The one I use the least, I should say. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you again for the raid. And yeah, so anyway, yeah, Logic is Logic and Ableton are definitely the 2 kind of main contenders at this point. Is DJB North streaming, Ken, or are you doing your, you know, bullying thing that you always do? Not bullying. Bullying, you know, I meant that semi-sarcastically. Aggressive, encouraging. Right. So yeah, anyway, for anybody that's new or that wasn't here earlier. Oh, you will be streaming. Okay. Let me go ahead and follow you then. Sweet. Cool, just followed. Dark ambient, nice. I like it. Yeah, I don't know what to call my music other than ambient. Like, it just is what it is. So yeah, anyway, I'm getting distracting myself. So I have the two new Old Blood pedals, and they're releasing a utility pedal tonight at midnight their time, which I think is 1 a.m. my time, but I'm hoping they'll do it sooner. So basically I'm just kind of waiting for that. Yeah, everyone go follow DJ B North. If you're enjoying this and Liquados, I assume, watch documentary, precursor ambient was called couch music. Yeah, I think I've heard that before. I kind of described my music. The main reason I got into making ambient music like 10 or so years ago was to help me fall asleep. So I kind of call it like yeah, let me do that. I call it like, well, I describe it as like music to fall asleep to. So. Oh wow. Forgot I had that up on my screen, sorry. If anybody has any questions about pedals or anything, happy to talk about that stuff too. I'm gonna give a shout out to Liquado. Oh wait, I can't do that yet. Does that still work? Sweet. Can you ask a dumb question? Sure. Identifying what you're hearing. Okay. So, what you're hearing is a loop. There's a little pedal right here. There's a looper pedal. It's kind of hard to see. And I recorded about a minute or 2 minutes with two or three different layers of just picking random notes. Not random, but improvised notes in the key of D. And so that's just repeating itself over and over again. There's a reverb here. There's also an attack removal called the attack decay pedal. So I had that on before the looper. So a couple of the notes are coming in with no attack on them, and then some of them are. That goes into the attack decay. So hold on. I'm gonna strip this all the way down for you. This is the loop, completely dry. I'm gonna turn that off. So if I play a chord, you're hearing the attack, which is the actual strum, right? The actual like hitting of the string. That's the attack. The attack decay, which Ken has. Now when I strum, oh sorry, flat light was still on. Now it's removing the attack, that beginning part of the strum, and you're just hearing everything after that. So it sounds more like strings or something that doesn't have a percussive sound at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. So I'll bring the loop back in. So having the attack decay before the looper, I can record some layers with the attack decay on and off. So then I get some notes with the attack and some without. Everything before that is just like compressor. It's just basically controlling like volume and EQ to try to get a good tone coming into the looper. The first pedal after the looper is the Darkstar reverb. And that's putting a little pad type reverb. If you put the mix all the way up on that, it takes away all the attack on everything. That just puts a low, like, reverb underneath everything. Flat light is oscillating very slowly. A flanger sound that's very slowly, opening and closing. And every once in a while you hear like this resonant bump that kind of pushes whatever frequency it's going through at the loop at that time. So it's going to be different every time because they're not synced together. In any way, they're not synced. Yeah. A normal flange. It's got that like a wow wow sound. I'm slowing down that wah like super slow. So that just every once in a while it catches and you kind of hear that resonant bump. Then we have a couple delays. Analog delay in Therme. It's just that dun dun dun, it's just repeating. And so that fills up some space. Because the original loop is pretty sparse. Their El Capistan is a tape delay, so more repeats that are getting darker as it repeats as well, with some modulation in it. This is where it starts getting really fun. This reverse is a delay that is repeating the notes it's hearing, but swelling in reverse. So again, just kind of filling up the space. But still pretty subtly. The cool thing is this slider. Yeah, you can move in real time and get some really cool sounds. So if you have that and then delays and stuff on afterwards, that will push those noises into stereo and it'll bounce around. That's really cool. So I've also captured a very small piece of the loop in mood, which is processing it. So that it's got a reverb on it, but it's in a mode where it's like taking a piece of itself and pitching it down an octave and then stretching it out with a modifier. Oh wow. 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Yes, Ken, that would be really cool. It's pretty basic, you know. What? Thank you for the gift subs. Look at all that pizza. It's delicious. Yes. So let me continue. We're almost done. I'm gonna skip Microcosm because that's doing its own thing. Polymoon, as soon as you hit that, it is creating a stereo spread. So if you have headphones on, it's really this cool effect where it's like doubling the sound in a way that makes it just feel really wide. And then Immerse is just adding on a little bit, touch of reverb on that. And Polymoon right now also has a little bit of modulation too. So all the delays are modulating a little bit, which just means like, you know, creating a little bit of warbliness in the sound, whether it's like a tremolo type effect or like a chorus type effect. So again, it's just adding textures here and there, little bits, and everything is pretty subtle. But then when it all goes together, that is what kind of makes it, I don't know, to me sound really good. So then you bring in the Microcosm, which is right now listening to all of this and just creating a delay of octave up and down notes. So again, just filling in the space. Which I love Microcosm. There's a filter on that, so you can kind of control if the highs are getting a little too like squealy or screechy. There's also an amazing ambient mode reverb on Microcosm, as well as a hold function and a looper. So there's like, it's just a ton of stuff, but basically that's all that's doing for right now. So that's how it all gets built up from something really simple to something really nice. And then it just very slowly evolves, because even though the bass loop is repeating, all of the things that are like that. Even though the bass loop is not changing, it is long enough that you don't notice a repeating phrase, and then it is triggering the modulating and reverberating and flanging and delayed sounds differently. They're all reacting to each other differently, so you just get a slowly changing texture over a long period of time. And if I wanted to, I'm not even using Blooper, but I could record a loop in Blooper and add effects to that, which would then give you a slow modified change loop over time. Or I could also do a loop in El Capistan that would repeat and degrade over time, like degrade in tape quality to sound like it's getting really chunky and you know, distorted eventually. All right. Okay, so blooper is recording now. So we'll let this go for a little bit. Is that blooper? Yeah, that's one of Alden's. Nice. Blooper can also repeat. It can just repeat a loop forever. It can also has a mode called additive, which if you have effects going, it can like add those on, so then it could simulate more of like an El Capistan tape looper. Alright, so I'm gonna turn everything off except for blooper so we can hear what we got. It also has this really great stability knob, which also kind of gives it that wow and flutter sound. So now I have this modifier that's like causing a lot of dropouts. So I can mix back in the original loop and have that just kind of be adding in these textures here. This also has a filter modifier. So what I really like to do is capture something in blooper and then turn the filter up a little bit so you're just hearing the top end, and just let that go for a while. So then you can have all these loops going, plus you can then play over top of it, and then that's another way to bring in, you know, different new changes to something that's just very repetitive. This is a loop that's stuck in the El Capistan. That'll just slowly get darker and darker. And yeah, so the goal at this point is just to listen and make really subtle changes over time to introduce minor movements and Just let things kind of swirl around. And then you just hope it doesn't get totally out of control. Hey, Silly Sideways, welcome in. First time chat. How are you? Tired. Yes, it's getting late. Except for Ken. Probably everybody else. Oh, and then another way, like I was talking about, is with this old blood pedal, old blood noise pedal. I also have like these little rampers. And so what they can do is essentially like mimic as if you were just turning a knob back and forth at different speeds. So yeah, that's another way to create movement and just changes. So that's why I'm really excited about this new pedal. It's gonna let me control with MIDI, have control over the expression of some of the, like, these two at least, and be able to have a little bit more control over the values that they change instead of just being able to ramp it kind of consistently. That's what I've been wanting. since the Ramper came out, before the Ramper came out, they made a slider, which is just a 1/4 inch in, and you could have it control a setting that way. And the Ramper is essentially like something that just does this. You know, it oscillates between 2 set values, back and forth and back and forth. I think the MIDI is the next step towards controlling more expression. So, for example, the Darkstar has a pitch mode. And it's just a knob. What you could do is set an exact point of like an octave up, or a 5th up, or a 4th up, a certain interval, basically, for that knob's value. And so instead of not knowing exactly where that point is, the MIDI functionality should let you find and be more precise with that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that. And just like what the possibilities are for making this stuff a little bit even more interesting sounding. Alright, this deserves a read. Roses are red, hey look at TP, this music is nice but making me sleepy. Yeah, I've heard that I think in your streams, Ken, Psilocybin Waves does these interesting quotes. That's okay. So you can hear that like really chewed up sound in the background. That's this El Capistan loop just being very, it's like writing over itself, and now you're just getting that really cool texture. I love that. Eventually, over time, it will get... Oh, no problem. I understand. I have 2 teenagers. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for the gift subs as well. I appreciate you a lot. Especially for the first time being in a stream. Yeah, hashtag parenting. Luckily, all my kids are in bed, so... that's why I can do this now. Until I get tired. Appreciate that. I'm really thankful for you also helping out with Dan's streams, and me and Alden were there at the very beginning, and I think we both kind of got burned out because Dan just streams so much, and we love Dan. He's such a determined and consistent part of the community, and I'm glad that other people now are able to step in and continue to support him and help him get to the next level where he wants to go. Ken, I just saw you posted in the Discord. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's what I love about Twitch that I've experienced and been able to, experience both ways from supporting other streamers and getting that love in return is really, it's an incredible community. Your teens? Oh man. So I have 4 daughters, so be careful what you wish for. 2 teenagers and 2. Well, I'll have 3. I'll have 3 teenagers pretty soon. Yeah, I grew up with 3 sisters, so I'm kind of used to it. But still, it's it's a lot. So. Yeah, I get it. That's another thing of why ambient music is just, it's such a good thing to de-stress from life, whether it's work or everything else. Like, it's just something that can bring you some peace and calm. Yeah, thanks for being here. Got 2 hours of this. Is that right? No, 1 hour. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Almost. Minus that little chunk that I gotta cut out, but it's pretty good. If we can get 2 hours of it, that would probably be a good amount to start a song off of. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Either I'm just gonna stay streaming and we might watch it. I don't know, like, I don't know if stuff's coming out. I'm kind of playing it by ear, depending on how I feel. If I'm not streaming, we could do it in Discord. Otherwise, I might just put it on here. Yeah, I didn't really think that far ahead yet, so. Like, it's less complicated to do it here. That's the only reason. Because whenever I try to do video in Discord, I always struggle. Just checking. They didn't post anything yet, right? I don't know if they're dropping videos. Sometimes, like, they'll put a watch, like a premiere. I don't see anything up yet. So, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're just gonna have to play it by ear, see if I can even make it that long. But yeah, if I'm up, then I'm definitely planning to at least look at it if they just post it on their website or whatever. still have this guy up. I'm really curious now about the chorus, now that I have the reverse. I'd be really interested in trying this out. That, and I need to figure out how to get float back on the board. But yeah, they don't have anything out on YouTube yet. So we'll see. Yeah, so they have this series of the BL series right here. This is the reverse. So that's what this is right here. That's the newest thing I've got. I got a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. Yeah, so that's the reverse, and all that does is you have the mix, obviously, in volume, and then clock. Like if I move the clock, kind of creates these weird digital like artifact sounds. But that controls yeah, I don't know how to explain it. The speed is kind of like octave up and down. So it's even though it's a knob, it's like you turn it and then at a certain point it's like I almost wish it had like notches, because it goes like a fifth down and then an octave down, or a fifth up and an octave up. And then the clock just does that weird things, which is really cool. And then, so that was the first one. And then in this similar form factor, they released this BL82, which is a chorus pedal with a clock, slider, but then a feedback knob. So my guess is they're going to release a series of these kind of more basic control pedals. You know, a delay, a reverb, and then some other kind of tremolo, maybe filter, flanger would be cool. So if they have a whole series of these, but this looks really interesting. Oh, you can't get, can you not get Chase Bliss for Old Blood at all? Yeah, that is a shame. Or is it just really expensive to ship there? I know Chase Bliss, since they went direct. Yeah, I know they opened a Europe location, and I think that included, they pay like half of the import fees for you, which, yeah, I mean, their pedals are still pretty expensive. But I know some other people that have some trouble getting them for the same reason. Even for some of our friends in Canada, like they'll get hit with a really big import fee, so it's crazy. Oh wow, yeah, that's rough when it's like, yeah, almost half extra. It definitely makes it more of a investment for sure. And then you don't get any of that in resale value because, you know, if somebody local is buying it, they don't have to pay that. And then if you have to ship it out and someone's got to pay another fee on top of it, then they're not going to want to pay more for it. So, yeah, that is tough. Ooh. I love their limited colors. They just got a new, like, they announced they got a new, like, printer thing. I don't know what to do, like, cool new artwork in colors. There's Petalmeyer here on the West Coast, Canada. Oh, who is that? I only know of one company in Canada, but I think they're more eastern. Oh, Radio. Oh, okay. I have the Reamp box. Yo, Interpret, what's up? Oh, there's Montreal. What's it called? Oh wow, there's a lot. There's a lot actually. Diamond Petals. Dr. Scientist. Empress is Canadian? I didn't know that. Fairfield Circuitry. Montreal Sublight, that's what I was thinking of. Ground Control Audio. That's the other one I was thinking of. Just walk through. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you missed it. Hot British Tombone. Nice. Radio. Space and Poker. Demdash, yeah, I saw them. Yeah, it's actually a bunch more than I realized. Demdash, if I'm saying that right, is in Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's crazy. That's another one that I haven't gotten any of their pedals, but I would love to try. That, The Count to Five, Shallow Water. Yeah. A lot that are on my list are actually Canadian. That's pretty cool. Rev. Huh. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of really cool guitar makers that are in Canada too. Yeah, Ground Control is the company that their artwork is really neat. The Serpents. They've got, I really like the artwork of this. If I didn't have a compressor, this would be one that I'd be interested in trying. This looks cool. I like this one too. I gotta write all these down. Solutions. Oh, cool. Oh, they've got rack based. Wow. Gonna let this El Capistan loop fade out now. It's midnight. And then restart it. I feel like at any time now, between now and the next hour, they could drop it. Oh wait, we have it. We have it. Okay, you guys want to watch it? Let me make sure. To add an audio source. Okay. We're gonna watch the new Old Blood Noise it's only 4 minutes. If I can get audio. Okay, cool. Let's stop recording. Yeah, I assumed it was going to be another hour. Okay. All right. Everybody ready for this? Let's put that up. Here we go. I'm not going to be able to hear this either, unless I monitor it. Monitor. Okay. Still can't hear it. Hold on. Alright, I'm gonna start it over. Okay, I can hear it now. Let's... Alright, I assume it's working for everybody else. Let's go. Oh boy. There's more. Wow. Do you guys want to keep watching these? Oh, yeah. There's a 18-minute and a 13-minute. Do you guys want to watch Dan Explains It All? Or do you want to watch the MIDI to Expression? Nothing special. I think I'm just going to watch one of these right now. And then go to bed. Is it available? Oh, there it is. Oh, 119. Wow. I guessed 129. Even better. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what that means. Realizing matching gaps in the market and their friends' workflows, Old Blood is pleased to introduce MTET, the MIDI to Expression Translator, a simple device for complex workflows. It receives MIDI CC messages, turns them into expression outputs, allowing players to unlock MIDI control over their expression-enabled devices. Where once there was only a foot, now there's an envelope control, LFO control, snapping to preset positions. Yeah, that's really cool. Any MIDI shape can express an OB, NE. So that's the thing, is like putting like in Ableton you can put an LFO on an LFO, or you could just have two different independent LFOs on two controls. So like there's so much more flexibility there from just having one expression ramper going into a expression input on a pedal, and then only being able to control one thing at a time, whatever is limited to that pedal's like what's available in terms of what controls. Driving home from a kid's birthday party. Yeah, well, you came to the right place. Did you all right, I want to watch Dan Explains It All, so let's do that. Also, what's up, Harley? Here we go.
Hello. Welcome to Dan Explains It All. Today we're here to talk about MTET, the MIDI to Expression Translator from Old Blood Noise. It's really very simple, I swear. It takes MIDI messages and turns them into expression outputs. It's just a translator between worlds. It midifies your Old Blood pedals. It midifies a number of other pedals too. So I suppose we should dive in, but maybe we can start with some definitions. Let's talk about MIDI first. MIDI is a communication protocol. It started in the early 80s. It's you can think of it like Morse code, except the dots and dashes become zeros and ones. I don't actually know anything about Morse code. But basically, it's a communication system where if two devices are programmed to understand MIDI, they can talk to each other. One can say, hey, change your control, and the other one can say, okay, I'll do that. And I guess we should talk about expression too. So, MTET is not outputting CV. It's not outputting any sort of voltage on the tip of a cable.
But what I meant was,
what it's doing is providing a TRS connection for a certain expression standard.
What I meant was,
connects the tip, the ring, and the sleeve of the TRS cable to the three terminals of a digital potentiometer. It's a knob. It's a digital knob.
MIDI
And it's expecting that the pedal on the
What
other
you
end
do
will be
with
ready
MIDI.
for
I don't
that. It'll
know.
apply ground to sleeve, voltage to ring, and then divide between those two at the tip.
But whatever.
It's the system that we use here at Old Blood, and a lot of other companies use it too. So it'll be compatible with a wide variety of devices that have Expression in ports. Not all of them, but check your manual or send us an email if you need to confirm that it'll work. So I guess let's get into what it actually does.
Yeah, I'm trying not to talk
Let's
over
listen to this
video,
Dark Star.
but my mic's still on. Sorry. This is like 15 minutes, so I'm gonna just kind of let this play. I don't want to talk over Dan.
You might be thinking, I've never heard a Dark Star just snap to pitches like that. That's the beauty of MTET. We're using this Morningstar MIDI controller to send CC messages to snap to very particular values. We have an octave down.
Yeah, the snapping to values,
we have
that's
an octave up.
blowing my mind. That's awesome.
We have a fifth that's a little out of tune, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then we have unison. We're right in the middle on that knob. So how are we achieving this? We're sending CC, or control change messages. This is the only type of message that MTET is interested in. There's a whole wide world of MIDI messages, but control change, or CC, is what we're focused on here. If you send CC1, you can set the value of expression 1. So you might send it CC1 0 to say, set expression 1 all the way down, or CC1 127, the maximum number in the world of MIDI CCs, to say, turn the expression all the way up, and anywhere in between. So unison here is 63 or 64, it's halfway. And that's really it. You're just sending CC messages, they're turning into expression outputs, and it allows you to figure out that, for example, 114 sounds pretty much like a fifth. So instead of having to find it on a knob, you just send a CC message. So that's what we call
Yeah, that's what I was talking about
most
earlier,
significant
is like
bit, or
identifying,
most
instead of having to
significant
find
byte,
it,
or I don't know, it's MSB.
fifth up
Basically, it's
on a
the
pitch mode on a
significant
knob, you
number
can
here.
identify that with a numerical
CC1
value
for
and then hit it
expression 1.
the exact same spot every time.
But you can also make little changes. So MIDI, as I said, goes from 0 to 127. But the digital potentiometers in MTET go from 0 to 255. So 0 to 127 actually just gets multiplied by 2, and you're kind of skipping in increments of 2 as you move through. But there's also a least significant bit message where you can send 0 to just maintain the previous numbers that we talked about, or 1 to just bump up a little bit. So let's say you're at 63, 64 seems a little off. You want to be at 63 and a half, use an LSB. And the way we've set up LSBs on MTET is 11, 12, 13, and 14 for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just remember, add 10 to whatever your CC is. In this case, we have what sounds like a fifth on the Dark Star by sending CC 1, 114. And we can flip the LSB by sending CC 11, 1 or CC 11, 0. And you'll hear it go a little flat or a little sharp. It's a very subtle difference, but it's important when you're tuning pitches or ring mods or things that are very particular in their sweep. So that's how you achieve basically sending one expression control. You'll notice we're focused on CC1 and CC11 right now because we're working with the expression 1 output. But what if we wanted to use the other three? Well, that's where CC2 and CC12, CC3 and CC13, CC4 and CC14 all come in handy. Let's try a different sound, maybe screen violence. I've changed my bank on the Morningstar controller, and we've configured this to send messages on CC2. I can turn screen violence into a pure mod by essentially turning the screen knob all the way down. Let's turn the mix up for fun. I can make it a little bit of a slapback. or a full-on long trail reverb. And I don't have to worry about where exactly I am on the knob or controlling something with my foot. I can just send a MIDI message and go right to the position I'm looking for. How about another example? Maybe we can tempo sync a float. I'm going to tap in a tempo on the Morningstar. Save that tempo. And now the Morningstar is ready to output an LFO controlling the cutoff frequency of float. This is a question we often get about, can I tempo sync a float? And it's not set up for tap tempo or MIDI clock or anything like that, but through MTET, by directly manipulating the cutoff through the expression port, you can create a tap tempo version of float. It's a handy little thing.
The other cool thing is because
so I
if you
suppose
have
we
one
should
of
talk
the
about
mixes, you
MIDI
can
channels.
then
I've been
control
very careful
essentially
not to call
presets
them
or pedals
channel
that don't
1,
have
channel 2,
presets.
channel 3 when
It's
talking about the
crazy.
expression ports, even though that's kind of my instinct, because MIDI channel is a very specific thing.
That's amazing.
Basically, you can think of it like a walkie-talkie, where you and your friend tune into the same channel to make sure that you can hear messages from each other, but not send those messages out to other people on other walkie-talkies, or something like that. Again, the only communication protocol I barely understand is MIDI. So in this case, we have MTET at channel 1. This is the default configuration. It's listening for messages on channel 1 and ignoring messages on channels 2 through 16. We have the Morningstar configured to send those CC messages on channel 1 so that they can talk with each other. If we wanted to change the channel, we use CC100. And this is just a very particular message that you're not going to use very often, but it's just to configure what MIDI channel you want MTET to be on. So we're on channel 1, and if we send CC105, we'll switch to channel 5. I'll go ahead and send that message now. And you'll notice that suddenly float is stuck. The LFO isn't moving anymore. It's just at the last message it heard. You also may have noticed that on MTET, all 4 expression lights blinked 5 times in a row. That's how you can tell you've successfully assigned the MIDI channel. You'll get a number of blinks, count them up, and that's your MIDI channel. If we wanted to change back to channel 1, I'll hit this channel 1 button on the Morningstar, and that's going to send CC101 on channel 5, because that's the channel we're currently on, so that's the only channel it's listening on. 1 LED blink, and now our float is moving again. Also, if you ever forget what channel you're on, simply unplug it from power, plug it back in, wait just a few seconds, and then count the number of LED blinks. So you can tell we're at 1 again. There's one last feature that is the MIDI through, and there's really not much to explain here. Essentially, as MIDI messages come into MTET's MIDI in, they also go out through the MIDI through. This way you don't have to use up an entire MIDI out port on your controller. You can daisy chain MTET with other MIDI devices and make sure that those MIDI messages are going all throughout the system. What's like one more fun thing we can do? What if we turn on the flat light? What if we just, maybe, I don't know, turned on an LFO that was just like potentially connected to all 4 of the pedals? I could probably listen to this for a very long time. You'll notice that all of the lights are blinking, and this is a great time to point out the way that these lights show you what's happening. So you'll see MIDI in lights up because MIDI messages are coming in. MIDI through lights up because MIDI through messages are going out. The power LED is on because we have power, and expression 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all blinking every time they receive a message. So you can see the motion and also feel and hear the motion.
Every
of
MIDI
this
box
flat
should have
lights shift knob, the dark stars control
and
one
in
knob,
light, so you know if it's
screen
going
balances, screen knob,
Any
floats,
direction.
cutoff filter are all
That's
changing
amazing.
according to 4 slightly differently timed LFOs. And that's all possible by simply taking MIDI CC messages and turning them into expression outs through the MTET. And that's really it.
At M10.
9-volt DC power, about 50 milliamps.
Low power.
It's a simple device, I'm telling you. It seems complicated, but it can open up a world of possibilities for your expression-enabled pedals with any sort of MIDI control scenario. It's available now from Old Blood Noise and participating dealers worldwide for $119.
That's such a good.
That's really all there is to say about it. Thanks for joining.
Wow. I love just Brady in the background, just like sitting there playing. So yeah, I bought it already. That's this is like for what ambient people do, it solves a huge, not necessarily problem, but yeah, thanks Dan. But it gives you the ability to add more control and therefore movement. What I was trying to explain earlier that Harley kind of corrected me on, which was right. But so like take Darkstar, not all 4 controls, not all 4 of these knobs are accessible by the expression to control. I think the mix knob is not. I know these 2 are. I think maybe the reverb is, or maybe it's whatever. It's not all of them. The point being is like this doesn't give you the ability to control stuff that the expression ramper already couldn't. You're still only going to be able to access whatever the pedal's functionality enables you to. But as you could see from the physical pedal, the physical MIDI controller, what I was talking about was doing you controlling those things, but through Ableton, which you can then program to like just have more complex chains of what LFOs are controlling what, and then what that is mapped to in MIDI, and then what those things are sending to the pedals. It opens up a whole lot of oh, not control 1. Gotcha. Okay. I thought it was both, but yeah, so it would be these 2 knobs, the 2 far knobs. That's awesome because you can manually set this one and then you can have this one jump around. And like as much as you can quickly turn a knob, you can't have it go from like one position to a different position. And now from what I understand is that this control will let you essentially turn it, extremely quickly and precisely to an exact spot. And that's something that you couldn't do before. So yeah, I'm excited to see. And then also, I already have, you can't see it here, but I have a MIDI box controlling going to the MIDI ins on some of these pedals. I can run through that, or I can run into the other one first. Doesn't matter. I'll probably run into the MTET first because it'll light up, so I'll know if MIDI signals are going to that device. So it just helps with like troubleshooting too, because there's so many pieces that all have to be connected and working correctly, that sometimes it can be hard to figure out, like, am I not sending MIDI from my software, from my computer? Is my interface not receiving MIDI or sending MIDI? Is my MIDI box not sending it, or is my pedals not receiving it? So there's a lot of like places that there could be problems. And if it's lighting up when it's sending messages, then like yes or no. You're either seeing the lights or not. Yeah. In a way, I think I know what you're asking in the Discord. I don't know. It's hard to answer that, I think, until actually see it. But yeah, like I I think what I think you were essentially asking, like, how is this different from MIDI inputs? Um, and it's because it's converting MIDI to expression. It's just a different way to be able to. It's basically giving you like MIDI-like control over pedals that don't have MIDI inputs. Does that make sense? So in some ways, there will be new functionalities that you couldn't do with expression sliders or rampers. I was saying earlier, I think before you were here, Harley, was like the slider. You know, the slider was the first thing where you had to manually move it. The ramper was like the next evolution where it's doing that automatically. You can set that to between 2 points, and it's ramping it. It's, you know, it's oscillating up and down by itself. This is kind of the next step to expression control for non-MIDI enabled devices. And yeah, so yeah, I'm excited. I think another part, the part of this that I'm most interested in is that that the triple ramper is just 3 separate rampers in a box. And what I was hoping that was more of what this is, which is where you, by having 4 linked to a MIDI box, you can send out like you could push one button. You can program one button that can have a MIDI message that can go out to all 4 devices or any combination of devices. And essentially that's what I meant by a preset, is like, when I said that earlier, is like you could pick a specific spot on the Dark Star to have that octave up and have it change that, and a mix on, or the input knob on your Sunlight, and the reverb on a Procession, and do all of that in one step. So rather than having 3 separate controls, you now have the ability to control multiple things that way, which is what I was trying to say earlier. And I think you were thinking that I was saying like you can control more than what that pedal enables, but what I meant was you can send out like a bulk command to kind of say do all these things at once, and it'll send them all at the same time. And so it's kind of like turning your board into a multi-effects pedal unit where you could like create a patch, right? And so it would put a certain delay, a certain reverb, a certain pedals on in a certain order. It's almost like giving you that ability, but still obviously still having your manual control. And then yeah, it's kind of it's just giving you access to the features of MIDI without them having to spend the time and money putting MIDI into new versions of their pedals. So it's really cool. It's gonna be interesting to see what people do with their pedals now, because it does kind of open up in the ways he was talking about. It will open up a lot of like the float thing is really cool. The Dark Star thing was really cool. What was the other? I forget what the other one was other than screen violence. But yeah, each one potentially has some really interesting separate. It's making me regret selling any Old Blood pedal that I have ever sold before, basically, that had an expression input. A lot of my issues were with their with the pedals that I didn't necessarily vibe with at the time, like the XS, you know, now kind of makes me wish that I still had the opportunity to use this with them. But all right, anyway, that's enough of me Nobody's on. Well, yeah, that's the obvious. That's the obvious part of this. Nobody's on because it's so late. I don't know anybody that's on it. The pedal binge. Yeah, re-binging or repurchasing everything. Anybody have any suggestions? Anybody doing any Twitch, right? Oh. I don't want to not raid because I got raided. Any suggestions? Yeah, thanks. Thanks for hanging out. Deggy music. Let me check it out. Yeah, Interpret, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, let's do Maruv Key. I don't know them. Gonna follow. Both good suggestions. Steggy music is good too. MTET. Yeah. Rolls right off the tongue, MTET. All right, let's cool. Go there. Whoever's here, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for coming over from Liquado. If you still are here, I'm gonna start streaming again. I'm gonna try to stream at least once a week. I don't know what days. It might just be a little bit random to begin with, but probably the same time. So if you're on this time, hopefully I'll see you again. Let's go see. Here we go. Yeah, thanks for hanging out and watching the Old Blood stuff with me. I'm glad that it wasn't another hour that I had to wait up for it. Everybody else, have a good night. And yeah, thanks for being here.